In the quaint village of Meryton, the arrival of a wealthy bachelor sends ripples of excitement through the community. The news of Mr. Bingley, a charming and handsome gentleman, quickly spreads, igniting the imaginations of the local families, particularly that of the Bennet family. Mrs. Bennet, eager to secure advantageous marriages for her 5 daughters, is determined to make a favorable impression on Mr. Bingley. She envisions a future where her daughters are married off to wealthy suitors, thus elevating their social standing. Elizabeth Bennet, the second eldest daughter, is more skeptical of societal expectations and the superficial nature of marriage. She values personal happiness over financial security, which often puts her at odds with her mother's ambitions. The Bennet family soon receives an invitation to a ball at Netherfield Park, where Mr. Bingley is staying. The prospect of attending the ball fills Mrs. Bennet with glee, as she sees it as the perfect opportunity to introduce her daughters to Mr. Bingley. Meanwhile, Elizabeth prepares herself for the event with a mix of excitement and apprehension. She is aware of the societal pressures surrounding marriage but remains steadfast in her belief that true love should precede any union. As the night of the ball approaches, the atmosphere in the Bennet household is charged with anticipation. The sisters share their hopes and fears, and Elizabeth's independent spirit shines through as she challenges the norms expected of young women in their society. The chapter sets the stage for the unfolding drama of love, pride, and the complexities of human relationships, hinting at the challenges that lie ahead for Elizabeth and her family. The night of the ball arrives, and the grand hall at Netherfield Park is filled with laughter and music. Elizabeth, dressed in her finest gown, feels a mix of excitement and trepidation as she enters the ballroom with her family. Mr. Bingley is charming and sociable, quickly engaging with the guests. He dances effortlessly, capturing the attention of the room. However, it is his friend, Mr. Darcy, who stands apart, exuding an air of aloofness. Elizabeth overhears Mr. Darcy dismissing her as tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me, and this remark ignites her disdain for him. As the evening progresses, Elizabeth's lively spirit shines through as she dances with various partners, enjoying the evening despite her initial encounter with Mr. Darcy. The contrast between Mr. Bingley's warm demeanor and Mr. Darcy's haughty attitude becomes increasingly apparent, setting the stage for Elizabeth's growing curiosity about the enigmatic gentleman. The following day, Elizabeth reflects on the ball and her impressions of Mr. Bingley and Mr. Darcy. While Mr. Bingley's charm and affability leave a positive impression, Mr. Darcy's arrogance lingers in her mind. Elizabeth shares her thoughts with her sisters, who are all abuzz with the excitement of the ball. Jane, the eldest sister, expresses her admiration for Mr. Bingley, believing he is genuinely interested in her. The Bennet family's discussions revolve around potential matches, with Mrs. Bennet eagerly pushing for Jane to pursue Mr. Bingley. Elizabeth, however, remains skeptical of the idea of marrying for wealth and status, preferring to wait for a love that is genuine and mutual. As the days pass, the Bennet family receives news that Mr. Bingley has invited them to dine at Netherfield, further fueling Mrs. Bennet's hopes for a match between him and Jane. Elizabeth feels a mix of excitement and apprehension, knowing that the social expectations of their society weigh heavily on her family's future. At the dinner at Netherfield, the atmosphere is filled with lively conversation and laughter. Jane and Mr. Bingley share an undeniable chemistry, their interactions filled with warmth and mutual admiration. Elizabeth observes their budding relationship with a mix of happiness and caution, aware that societal pressures may complicate their connection. During the meal, Mr. Darcy's demeanor remains reserved, though he occasionally engages in conversation with Elizabeth. Their exchanges are marked by wit and a subtle tension, as Elizabeth challenges his views on class and social status. Mr. Darcy finds himself intrigued by her intelligence and spirit, though he struggles to reconcile his feelings with his pride. The dynamic between the 4 characters becomes increasingly complex, as Elizabeth's initial disdain for Mr. Darcy begins to evolve into a reluctant curiosity. Meanwhile, Mrs. Bennet's aspirations for Jane and Mr. Bingley's union intensify, creating a backdrop of familial expectations that looms over the proceedings. As the days turn into weeks, the relationship between Jane and Mr. Bingley blossoms. They spend time together at Netherfield, and Jane's gentle nature captivates him. Elizabeth, while supportive of her sister, remains wary of the implications of such a match. She senses the societal pressures that accompany wealth and status, and she worries about Jane's vulnerability. During this time, Elizabeth encounters Mr. Wickham, a charming officer who shares a troubling story about Mr. Darcy. He claims that Darcy wronged him by denying him a promised inheritance, painting Mr. Darcy in a negative light. Elizabeth, intrigued by Wickham's charisma, finds herself drawn to him, and their conversations spark a connection. However, her growing admiration for Wickham only deepens her disdain for Mr. Darcy. The contrast between Wickham's easy charm and Darcy's reserved nature becomes a focal point for Elizabeth's internal conflict, as she grapples with her judgments and the complexities of human character. With the arrival of autumn, the social season continues, and the Bennet family is invited to several gatherings. Elizabeth attends a dinner at the home of Lady Lucas, where she observes the interactions between the local gentry. Mr. Bingley and Jane's relationship flourishes, much to Mrs. Bennet's delight. However, Elizabeth remains preoccupied with her thoughts about Mr. Darcy and Mr. Wickham. During a chance encounter, she engages in a spirited debate with Mr. Darcy about the nature of pride and prejudice. Their discussions reveal the depth of their characters, as Elizabeth challenges Darcy's views on social class while he grapples with his own biases. Despite their differences, there is an undeniable chemistry between them, though neither is willing to acknowledge it. Meanwhile, Wickham continues to charm Elizabeth, further complicating her feelings. As the social dynamics shift, Elizabeth begins to question her initial judgments, realizing that first impressions can be misleading. As winter approaches, the tension between Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy escalates. At a ball in Meryton, Elizabeth finds herself in a heated exchange with Darcy, who unexpectedly seeks her out for a dance. The encounter is fraught with unspoken emotions, as Elizabeth's pride clashes with Darcy's growing admiration for her. Meanwhile, Jane receives an invitation from Mr. Bingley to join him at Netherfield for the holidays, and Mrs. Bennet is ecstatic, seeing it as a sign of their deepening relationship. Elizabeth, however, remains cautious, aware that societal expectations may threaten their happiness. During this time, Mr. Darcy begins to reconsider his feelings for Elizabeth, recognizing her strength and independence. As the holiday festivities unfold, the contrast between the Bennet family's humble background and the opulence of Netherfield becomes increasingly pronounced, highlighting the societal barriers that challenge the characters' desires. As the holiday season progresses, Elizabeth and Jane enjoy their time at Netherfield, where Mr. Bingley continues to shower Jane with affection. Elizabeth observes their interactions with a sense of hope but also an underlying anxiety about the future. Mr. Darcy, meanwhile, finds himself increasingly drawn to Elizabeth's wit and intelligence, challenging his preconceived notions of love and marriage. Their conversations become more frequent, and Elizabeth begins to see glimpses of vulnerability in Darcy, complicating her feelings towards him. One evening, during a game of charades, the atmosphere is filled with laughter and camaraderie, allowing Elizabeth and Darcy to engage in playful banter. This unexpected connection leaves Elizabeth questioning her earlier judgments about Darcy, as she starts to recognize the depth of his character beyond the pride he initially displays. As the new year dawns, the dynamics at Netherfield shift when Mr. Bingley suddenly departs for London, leaving Jane heartbroken and Elizabeth frustrated. Mrs. Bennet's hopes for a match between Jane and Mr. Bingley are dashed, leading to tension within the Bennet household. Elizabeth confronts Darcy about his role in Bingley's departure, sensing that he has influenced his friend's decision. Their conversation is charged with emotion, as Elizabeth challenges Darcy's pride and social prejudices, igniting a fierce debate about the nature of love and societal expectations. Darcy, taken aback by Elizabeth's passion, begins to re-evaluate his feelings for her. This confrontation marks a turning point in their relationship, as both characters grapple with their pride and the prejudices that have shaped their perceptions of one another. As spring arrives, Elizabeth returns home, reflecting on the recent events and the impact they have had on her family. Jane's spirits remain low, and Elizabeth resolves to support her sister through this difficult time. The arrival of Mr. Collins, a pompous clergyman and heir to the Bennet estate, adds further tension to the household. Mrs. Bennet is eager for Jane or Elizabeth to accept his marriage proposal, believing it will secure their future. Elizabeth, however, is determined to reject Mr. Collins, valuing her independence over the societal pressures to marry. During Mr. Collins' visit, he demonstrates his absurdity and self-importance, much to Elizabeth's dismay. The contrast between his character and the genuine affection between Jane and Mr. Bingley becomes increasingly stark, highlighting Elizabeth's desire for a meaningful connection rather than a marriage of convenience. As summer approaches, Elizabeth's resolve is tested when Mr. Collins proposes to her. She firmly declines, much to her mother's outrage. Mr. Collins, unable to comprehend her refusal, insists that she will change her mind, demonstrating his arrogance and lack of understanding of her feelings. Elizabeth's rejection of Mr. Collins serves as a powerful statement of her independence and refusal to conform to societal expectations. Meanwhile, news arrives that Mr. Bingley has returned to Meryton, reigniting hope for Jane's happiness. Elizabeth encourages her sister to pursue her feelings for Bingley, recognizing the genuine affection they share. As the two sisters navigate their contrasting experiences with love and marriage, Elizabeth's determination to remain true to herself becomes increasingly evident, setting the stage for the unfolding drama of Pride and Prejudice. As the summer unfolds, the atmosphere in Meryton is charged with excitement as Mr. Bingley resumes his visits. Jane and Bingley's relationship flourishes, bringing joy to the Bennet household. However, Elizabeth remains cautious, aware of the societal pressures that could threaten their happiness. Meanwhile, Mr. Darcy's presence looms large, as he continues to grapple with his feelings for Elizabeth. During a chance encounter, Darcy unexpectedly confesses his admiration for her, acknowledging the depth of his feelings despite his initial reservations. Elizabeth is taken aback, torn between her growing curiosity about Darcy and her lingering resentment towards his pride. Their conversation is filled with tension and unspoken emotions, as both characters confront their vulnerabilities and the complexities of their connection. As the summer progresses, the dynamics between the characters shift, revealing the intricate dance of pride and prejudice that defines their relationships. As autumn arrives, the social landscape in Meryton shifts once again. Mr. Bingley's attentions toward Jane deepen, and the prospect of their engagement becomes increasingly likely. Mrs. Bennet's hopes soar, but Elizabeth remains cautious, recognizing the fragility of their happiness. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's relationship with Mr. Darcy continues to evolve, as they engage in deeper conversations that challenge their preconceived notions. Darcy's vulnerability becomes more apparent, revealing the complexities beneath his proud exterior. Elizabeth finds herself drawn to him, grappling with her conflicting emotions as she navigates the societal expectations surrounding love and marriage. The tension between them reaches a boiling point during a heated argument, where Elizabeth confronts Darcy about his past actions and prejudices. Their exchange is charged with passion, forcing both to confront their pride and the societal barriers that have shaped their perceptions of one another. As winter approaches, the Bennet family faces new challenges when Lydia, the youngest Bennet sister, elopes with Mr. Wickham, causing scandal and distress. The news shatters Jane's hopes for a happy future with Mr. Bingley, as societal expectations weigh heavily on their relationship. Elizabeth is devastated by Lydia's impulsive actions, fearing the repercussions for her family's reputation. Mr. Darcy steps in to assist, using his influence to locate Lydia and Wickham, demonstrating his commitment to Elizabeth despite their tumultuous history. Elizabeth grapples with her feelings towards Darcy, recognizing the depth of his character and the sacrifices he makes for her family. As the situation unfolds, Elizabeth's understanding of pride and prejudice deepens, forcing her to re-evaluate her judgments and the complexities of love. In the final chapter, as the dust settles from Lydia's scandal, Elizabeth and Darcy's relationship reaches a turning point. Darcy's actions to protect her family reveal his true character, challenging Elizabeth's perceptions of pride and prejudice. Their conversations become increasingly candid as they confront their feelings and the societal pressures that have shaped their lives. Elizabeth begins to see Darcy in a new light, recognizing the depth of his love and the sincerity of his intentions. As they navigate the complexities of their emotions, Elizabeth realizes that true love transcends societal expectations, allowing her to embrace her feelings for Darcy. The story culminates in a heartfelt proposal, where Elizabeth accepts Darcy's love, acknowledging the journey they have both undertaken. Their union symbolizes the triumph of love over pride and prejudice, as they forge a path toward a future filled with understanding, acceptance, and genuine affection.